we're still waiting for trades. I've been told there will be trades. I've been told that there are a couple of teams who want to go up into the top 5. I was told Ashton Genty is the guy that some teams might be circling. Once again, as Peter Schrager said on the mothership yesterday, it's okay to admit you don't know what's going to happen. And that's his job as a draft analyst. I'm just a host. I try to get information when I can, talking to people yesterday. And it feels like everybody thinks that it's going to go a little bit chalk there to start. It'll be Cam Ward, then it'll be Travis Hunter, then Abdul Carter. I'm still not sold on the Giants and the Patriots just staying there, not doing anything. I think if you're the Giants, you need to make a splash in some way. But I don't know if Jacksonville at 5 takes Ashton Genty. I don't know if somebody's going to go up and get somebody. It usually happens every single year. Now, I was looking at some of these draft day trades. And, you know, I always go back to when the Kansas City Chiefs got Patrick Mahomes, because Houston traded the 25th overall pick in 2018. That was a first-round pick to move up to 12 to take Deshaun Watson. Well, Kansas City gave up the 27th overall pick and a third-rounder, and then a first-round pick in 2018 to move up to number 10 to take Patrick Mahomes. Well, we've had Sean Payton on the show, and he said they were going after Mahomes. If Mahomes was there, that they were going to take him. Well, they had Drew Brees at the time, which would have been interesting. Drew will join us. I'm going to ask him if he knew anything about that. But Sean Payton said he wanted Patrick Mahomes. Now, the Bears traded up in the same draft to get Mitchell Trubisky. And he was a Pro Bowl quarterback. He was. Alternate-ish. He was a Pro Bowl-ish quarterback. But Chicago gave up a third-round pick, fourth-round pick, third-round pick. They moved up to from third to second overall because everybody apparently wanted Mitchell Trubisky. They had to go up there and get him. So that's the other quarterback there were 3 quarterbacks traded for in that first round. Here's another one I forgot all about. The Atlanta Falcons traded to get Julio Jones. And they gave up a whole lot to get Julio Jones. This is 2011. They sent their first, second, and fourth-round picks to Cleveland, along with their first and fourth-round picks the following year, and they moved from 27 up to 6, and then they took Julio Jones, who's probably a Hall of Famer. The Patriots, when they had that draft day trade, I think it was a fourth-round pick for Randy Moss. The Steelers, they selected Troy Polamalu, and they traded up to get Polamalu, and they didn't give up too much, a third and a sixth-round pick for a guy who will be a Hall of Famer. The Steelers traded for Jerome Bettis. Now, he was with the L.A. Rams for 3 years, and after that, they gave up a second-round pick and a fourth-round pick to get Jerome Bettis, who's a Hall of Famer. The Chiefs traded to select Tony Gonzalez, who's, it's weird to say you're underrated at 15,000 receiving yards and 1,300 receptions, and also you have a child with Jeff Bezos' fiance, so you can incorporate that into his entire resume.
Didn't see that coming.
No, you didn't. But, he dated Lauren Sanchez for a while as well. We give you the full package here, okay? I'm just saying.
Package, get it? Amazon?
Yeah. Oh,
a blue.
Okay. Well,
nicely done.
Probably just give us a little space. Really.
Seahawks traded to select Walter Jones, Hall of Famer. Chargers and the Giants swapped quarterbacks. That was Eli Manning and Phil Rivers. And I think that worked out. I think both are Hall of Fame-ish. Eli's going to be Hall of Famer. Phillip Rivers, Hall of Famer?
Stats-wise, not accomplishment-wise.
Okay.
So, no.
Okay. His numbers are better than Eli's.
Yes.
He's not a Hall of Famer?
I don't know. Maybe I could ask Drew Brees. It's Phillip Rivers, because the Chargers had Drew, and then they drafted Phillip Rivers. The Buccaneers traded up to get Derek Brooks, Hall of Famer. Cowboys traded to take Emmitt Smith. I forgot about this as well. So they get him on a draft day trade. They sent a third-round pick to the Steelers. They move up from 21st to 17th, and they took Emmitt Smith. And then Jerry Rice, the 49ers, traded to get Jerry Rice. I don't remember that one either, but greatest wide receiver, one of the greatest players of all time. So it's a draft day deal. Bill Walsh loved Jerry Rice, Mississippi Valley State. They needed to move up from 28th to 16th overall, so they made a trade with the Patriots. They sent a second, third-round pick to New England. They got a third-round pick in return, and San Francisco moved up to take Jerry Rice, which might be the greatest draft day trade of all time, I guess, if you're going to grade them. I don't know if you're talking about, here's the greatest receiver of all time, you didn't give up an awful lot to get it. Yes, Paulie?
I guess you could go back to Drew Brees, 2001. The Atlanta Falcons went from 5 to 1 to get Michael Vick. So by going down in the draft to 5, the Chargers drafted LaDainian Tomlinson, first ballot Hall of Famer, at 5, and then in the first pick of round 2, they drafted Drew Brees, which I know he had a few good years in San Diego, very good years. But as far as what you got for that trade, that's an all-timer.
You got 2 Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
LaDainian Tomlinson and then Drew.
Wow.
Yeah. But you know what? At the time, Michael Vick was considered a sure thing. He was changing the position. He had been unbelievable at Virginia Tech. It just, I view Michael Vick the way I do Kyler Murray. I think the game came real easy to them, and then they didn't put in the time that would take them from being really good to great or a Hall of Famer. But Vick had his moments where, then when he got out of prison, Tony Dungy goes to Andy Reid and said, hey, would you take Michael Vick? Because, Tony visited Michael in prison. I've documented this, that we went to a prison with Michael Vick and Tony Dungy and talked to kids in Tampa, in the Tampa area. And so Tony was mentoring Michael, and then Andy Reid took him in Philadelphia and gave him a second chance. So these draft day deals, they do happen, maybe nothing to this magnitude, but as of right now, it's pretty quiet on the Western Front.